So about a month ago, I made a video called The Dark Side of NoFap. And in that video, I explained a lot of the drawbacks of NoFap because I feel like there are quite a few videos explaining the benefits of NoFap, but there aren't that many videos explaining the cons of NoFap. I feel like I left a few things out in that video, so I'm gonna just go ahead and explain some of those things in this video and just basically explain my personal experience and the drawbacks that I've felt from doing NoFap for these past 5 months. So the first thing that I've noticed is increased aggression and mood swings. Now, generally speaking, I'm a pretty even-tempered, chill person. If you can't tell, I am laid back, I'm reserved, I'm not violent, haven't been in a fight since maybe like 1st or 2nd grade. You know, I'm just a peaceful, loving dude. But with that being said, I feel like NoFap has definitely made me a little more of a loose cannon. And, you know, I'm really good at not suppressing my anger, but channeling my anger into the right areas. Like, for example, going to the gym, working out. That's something that I do. You know, if I get mad, I'll start doing push-ups. And I'm really good at, you know, being by myself. Whenever I get mad, like I just go and, you know, distance myself from everyone else. But I definitely have noticed that on NoFap, I have felt more anger, just generally speaking. And it's not so much like things provoke me. It's more so just random mood swings, like out of nowhere. And like I said, it is manageable, you know, if you know what to do when it happens. So usually what I'll do is I'll get in the car, I'll drive off, and I'll listen to some of the most ignorant trap music you can think of. And maybe for about 15 minutes, I'll just let myself feel that feeling as intensely as I possibly can. And eventually it'll go away. I've said this before, but feelings are temporary unless you hold on to them. So do not suppress that anger. This is something that pretty much everyone will experience on NoFap, especially if you were very addicted to it. The reason why is because when you are addicted to that instant gratification and that dopamine rush, when you try to take it away from yourself, especially going cold turkey the way I did, you're going to feel some type of way, you know, just naturally. You're going to feel more aggressive, more angry. It's natural, it's normal, and it shouldn't be ignored. It shouldn't be suppressed. But just be aware of it. Be aware that that's something that may or may not happen to you on your journey. And honestly, it's not even just anger. I feel like I've become a more emotional person in general. Like, I think before I started NoFap, I probably cried like once or twice in like the past 5 years. Like, I was not a very emotional person at all. And ever since I started NoFap, crying has become a normal thing for me. And I can almost cry on command. It's weird. It's very strange. I don't know if maybe this is just how I always was and NoFap is exposing that, or, you know, if it's NoFap itself that's making me more emotional like that. I don't know. But I've definitely become a lot more emotional. But, you know, this can be a good thing if you know how to channel your emotions. For me, you know, whenever I get sad or anything like that, I'm really good at using that to create art and to make videos, you know, because everyone feels sad at some point or another. So I make videos about it and basically just express myself, and I help other people who are feeling the same way. And that makes me feel happy. And I get to express myself at the same time. So it's a win-win. So I guess you could say that this is actually a pro of doing NoFap, is that you become more in tune with your emotions, but only if you know how to handle your emotions. And a lot of men struggle with that. The next thing that I've noticed on NoFap is brain fog. Now, this one's kind of weird because at some points on NoFap, I've definitely experienced more clarity than I used to, but I also experience more brain fog than I used to. It's weird. Like, I feel like whenever I get into the mood, you know, whenever I am stimulated, especially on social media, I start to have brain fog, in that I can't really focus on anything else because I'm thinking about women. And sometimes it'll distract me when I'm trying to work, you know, when I'm trying to make videos. But I feel like since I deleted social media again, since I got off social media, I haven't really been experiencing that same brain fog. So I think it's more a matter of not surrounding yourself with stimulants. You know, if you are on NoFap, but you're going to the strip club, or, you know, you're on social media looking at these Instagram models, you're going to experience brain fog. Because when your mind sees that, your body knows what it wants to do. And it's not going to stop thinking about that until it does it. So that's another thing to be aware of, is just having brain fog. But like I said, you can control this. Pretty much everything on this list can be controlled. The next thing that I've noticed on NoFap is that I've become overly ambitious to the point where I became cold. Now, this can be a good thing. Like I said, with any other thing on this list, it's all about how you perceive it. But I feel like becoming cold and not enjoying life anymore, that's really no way to live. You know I'm going to be successful, but if I'm just in the house filming videos and just working on videos all the time, I'm not going to be out living life, and eventually I'm going to run out of things to talk about for my videos. And this is something that I had to realize. You know, I have to find that balance between living and working, you know, because when you're on NoFap, you have so much extra energy that you just want to, you know, build your empire basically. You want to focus on whatever you're trying to focus on, your business, you know, if you're doing YouTube, your job, school, whatever it may be. And sometimes you want to put all of your energy into that, especially me. You know, I'm a pretty disciplined person and a very driven person. So, you know, I had to find that balance of, you know, sometimes I should go out and play basketball, you know, and that doesn't have anything to do with me making these videos, but it'll help me in the long run because it'll keep me grounded. You know, it'll help me stay in tune with myself and with my life and with the world around me. But, you know, once you find that balance point, the ambition level will really help because you'll start to knock out all of your work like that. You know, it won't really become much of a problem for you anymore. Procrastinating, even if you do procrastinate, I still do that. I'm not perfect, but I get my work done every single day. That's one thing you can bet on. When I go to sleep, my work is done. But also, I feel like this has definitely affected the way that I view dating. And I kind of still struggle with this, to be honest. And, you know, I just made a video not too long ago talking about how I'm done with dating and that I need to focus on YouTube and all of that. But, you know, this just goes back to my point about living. Like, you know, I still want to live my life and experience dating people and have that life experience because I could die, you know, next year. Who knows? You don't know how long you're going to be alive, so you want to make the most of your experience. But at the same time, since you know you're not going to live forever, you want to build something that will live forever. And like I said, I'm still trying to find that balance. I'm on top of my work, but, you know, I feel like when it comes to dating, I don't really invest myself as much as I used to. And that could be a good thing because I'm less prone to getting my heart broken or, you know, getting into my feelings or whatever. But at the same time, I don't get to experience the highs as much anymore. You know, when I'm first getting to know somebody and, you know, I'm investing myself into them, I feel like I don't invest myself as deeply as I used to. And, you know, like I said, it's all up to you. It's your perception. This can be a pro, but this can also be a con, especially when you're trying to build something with somebody for the long haul like I am. Now, speaking of relationships and dating, the next con that I've noticed on NoFap is that my standards have changed. My standards have gotten higher and lower at the same time. And what I mean by that is physically, what I look for in a girl physically, I feel like my standards have definitely dropped. You know, sometimes I catch myself looking at girls that I probably would not have found attractive a few months ago. And obviously it's because, you know, my body wants to reproduce. You know, my body wants to reproduce, and so its standards are going to start to drop naturally. Because at some point your body's like, okay, maybe I'm aiming too high. I need to, you know, widen the playing field and just find somebody, anybody. But at the same time, when you're on NoFap, you know, you're bossing up, you feel like you're getting better, and the longer you go, the more confident you become, and your perception of yourself changes. And because your perception of yourself changes and becomes like higher, you know, you go from here to here in your mind, you're gonna want a woman who matches that as well. So I feel like my standards looks wise have gone down a little bit, but my standards as far as, you know, personality and just everything else have gone up. And it creates a very confusing dynamic for me whenever I'm looking for a girl. And that's why I had to pretty much give up on looking for a girl and just trust that the universe is going to bring me the right one when the time is right. Because in looking for a girl, I've reached a point where I don't even know what I'm looking for anymore. Now, the next thing that I've noticed on NoFap is that I've become more competitive. Now, like I said, you know, maybe I was always competitive and I was just kind of suppressing it, but I've definitely noticed that sometimes I turn into a whole different person. Like when I feel like my ego is being challenged, I can just flip the switch and basically activate Mamba mentality. And like, I'm probably gassing myself up a little bit there, but basically when I feel like somebody is challenging me in some way, no matter what it is, I'm going to take offense to it and I'm going to do everything in my power to beat them at whatever it is. You know, whether it's YouTube or basketball or whatever. You know, I just take things a little more personally now. And I don't necessarily think this is a good thing because there's really no point in being competitive in the things that I do every day. You know, when it comes to YouTube isn't a competition. You know, at the end of the day, I'm in my own lane. I shouldn't be in competition with anyone else. If I'm competing with someone else, that means I'm comparing myself to them. And as I've said many times before, comparison is the thief of joy. So, you know, I feel like I probably have to mature a little bit in that way. And also, you know, with basketball or things like that, you know, me going to the park, I shouldn't care about if I lose a game of 21. That shouldn't be on my mind 2 weeks after it happens. But it happens, you know, every time I lose, it's just on my mind now. And it bothers me. It actually genuinely bothers me. And I want my revenge. You know, I want to get back at the people who beat me in whatever they beat me at. And, you know, to an extent, I feel like you kind of need some of that to be great at what you're doing. But like I said, in what I'm doing, you don't need to be competitive because on YouTube, everyone can be successful. Now, the next thing that I noticed on NoFap is that I get randomly aroused. Okay, that's just the only way to put it. I'm trying to say it in a way where I won't get demonetized. Hopefully I won't, but it's just basically like I'm back in freshman, sophomore year of high school when I first started going through puberty. Like, I'm talking just randomly. Like, I don't have to see a girl. I don't have to be thinking of a girl. I can be doing the most random, minute task throughout my day. And it'll just hit me. You know, I'll just get into that state of mind. It can put me in some very uncomfortable situations. And, you know, luckily I'm not in school or anything like that or at work where, you know, I have to stand up a lot or I have to be around a lot of people, because I am sure that people would be filing complaints against me.